How's it going, folks? Well, I'm MadassArmy here, and today I will be changing an oil seal and dust cap on the Madass fork front suspension. Okay, first things first, you remove, of course I removed the fender, remove the tire, remove the brakes, the front brake caliper, and it's kind of like just hanging here with a wire right over here. Here's it, just hanging it. Try not to let it hang through the brake line. And then you take two bolts out here. There's two Allen. This is the 8 and a 6 right here. 8 and a 6. As it gets loose, it will just kind of like drop. Once that's loose, just simply just slide the fork right out. Boom, there you go. Take an 8mm, or actually it's number 8 Allen wrench, and there's a screw in here which you can drain the hydraulic fluid or the oil from the fork. This screw takes a little effort to remove. It's really tight. There you go. You completely remove it to drain the oil. There you go. Oops. Alright, folks, now once you remove the top cap from the fork, now it's time to remove the components. Just gonna put that right there. You may have a little bit excess oil as you remove the spring. Just put it right here on the rack provided. Coming out. Here you go. Make sure you catch that. This is the dampening rod here, the spring. Just like that. Okay, now that we got the components out of the cylinder, now we're going to remove the dust cap. Just get a screwdriver, kind of pry it out. It should come off pretty easy. And once you remove the old dust cap, or dust seal that is, this is not an oil seal by the way, it's just a dust cap. And once you remove the dust cap, now it's time to remove the retaining clip. It's right in here. You're going to get a screwdriver, kind of just pry it out. Be careful, it might just pop right out. There you go. Once you take that retaining clip, then you can remove the oil seal. Okay, so now that to remove the oil seal, we're gonna use the inner fork tube here, cylinder, as as a slider hammer. So we're gonna kind of push it out a little bit, and wiggle it a little bit, and here you go. Here's the inner inner cylinder tube right here. Remove that. And then you can use a screwdriver here to kind of pry it out. This is the oil seal right here. There you go. And there's the brass washer here. These are the components in order. We're gonna lay it out in order in just a minute here. I'll show you how it's done. And just kind of remove any of the excess oil that's in there. Oops. See the thing that just fell out there? That's part of that's part of the dampening rod. So this one here connects to the bottom of the connecting rod right here. This is where it screws in right here. This is where you drain in the oil. So that goes in the bottom right here, if you can see. That's how it goes in that order. So alright, folks, now that we got all the components out of the fork, this is the order that it goes in. As far as this is the seal, this is the dust cap. That is the dust cap, the retaining clip, the oil seal, brass washer, and the brass bushing. That one kind of like you can expand and then close, and then the cylinder, and then this is the spring. This is the spring right here, the cap that goes on the top, and then the dampening rod, and then the screw that goes in the bottom of the fork. The fork seals, okay. I got this from eBay. It's Pyramid Parts. It's pretty cheap. I got it from the UK thanks to the Royal Mail. They were able to ship it here to the US territory and US as well. I already worked on the other fork, so this is the other seal. This is the new one here, with the with this kind of grease here. It's a red rubber grease. So yeah, you put it right below, right before you put the dust cap. You put it right below the cylinder, and then we just push it in. But don't put it on the oil seal here. So this is the dust cap. This is the stock right here, and this is the new one. Okay, Now folks, we're ready to put the fork back together, and this is the order that's gonna go. First things first, here's the inner cylinder, and you put the damping rod inside, which is this one here with the spring. Just slide it right in. Tap a little bit in the front, and it should come out in the end here. There you go. So that once that's in, you put the brass washer here. This is the one like with a retainer. It was like kind of like a tension washer. Slide that right in, and then the other brass washer goes right on top of that. So okay, anyways, like that's the order. If you put it, and then the oil seal. Now we're gonna put this first. Don't forget this one here. I'm gonna put this right in here. This is where the screw is gonna go in the bottom of the fork right here. The Allen bolt, and then insert it. Push it all the way down. Stand it right up. I got a PVC pipe here. This is a 1/2. Here you go. Diameter. So we're gonna use this to push that ring and that other brass ring into and seat it into the bottom of this portion of the shock here. And then just kind of push it in. There you go. And now it's seated. Next step, you put this before you put in the oil, because it's just gonna spill right out if you don't put it on. I almost forgot this, so that was my bad. So that goes in there. The torque for this, see, it's about 40 Newton meters. Now if you want to get it tightened again, you have to go back to the vice grip, the table vice. I'm using a rubber glove here because it has a rubber coating and it grabs, so it's like a hand grabbing onto that. As tight as it can go, about 32 foot-to-pound or 45 Newton meters torque. Next step now is to put the oil seal and just slide it right in. Okay, now we stand it up. So we get a PVC pipe here, tap here. I'm using a 2x4 here. Just kind of like give it a light tap so it seats in evenly. Push it in down enough where you can see the retaining clip groove where it's going to be inserted. Okay, now we're going to put the retaining clip in. Let's push it in like that. There you go. Once the retaining clip is seated in its groove, now the oil seal is sealed. Next, you put the dust seal here, the old dust cap. You put the red grease, this is where you put it. So like I said, this grease, the purpose of it is to prevent any dust or dirt or sand that gets through the dust seal, to prevent it from getting into the oil seal here. So it serves as a barrier here. So yeah, this is the red grease, red grease. I think that should be enough. And then just kind of push it in. Okay, now that we got the red grease inside, we're gonna insert this. I'm using a adapter here that fits into the 1/2. It kind of goes over the seal there, and then just kind of like hammer it, you know, evenly. If you can't do it by hand, you know, this will help here a little bit. Should help. There you go. So we got here the oil, and then just kind of put it in there. Next, we're gonna put in the spring. This is how it goes. Just put it right in there, and then you lift it, and then you insert the cap, and you get the 22, and then we pump it like about 5 to 10 times. Just 9, 10. Just to kind of remove a little air bubbles and let it stand vertically for about a minute or so. All right, now that you're done pumping it 5 to 10 times and let it sit for about a couple minutes, then you just tighten the top part here. It's tight enough right now, and then once you put it on the bike, we're gonna tighten some more. I'll put the link in the description on the procedure where I learned how to do this, as well as the parts that I used for this, where I got it. So that is it, folks. That is the Sachs Madass front suspension, fork seal, and oil seal replacement, as well as the oil. Thanks for watching, guys. Be safe out there. Have fun and enjoy the ride, my friends. One Madass Grom is out. Thanks for watching, folks.